Okay, I want to look at this young pitcher and analyze what she's doing. I picked her, uh, even though she's a left-hander, because she does a lot of things that we try to teach in the clinic. And I'm going to talk about her feet in terms of front foot and rear foot instead of left and right. So it translates to a right-handed pitcher. So she's right now looking at her catcher, possibly taking a sign. She's presenting the ball. She has her hands together. Her hips are in the closed position. In other words, they're facing the catcher. So the first thing that she does is she's going to transfer her weight from her front foot. Right now, all the weight is on her front foot. And she's going to transfer the weight onto her rear foot as she rocks back. And you see her lifting up her toe on her front foot. Her hands are beginning to rise, both glove and ball. And in her case, she likes to bend way down. That's just her style. The thing is, she's trying to get forward momentum. So she's leaning forward at this point. As she goes forward, her arm with the ball is going back. Her glove side is going up as her ball side is going down. Now the other thing that's happening right now, she's pushing hard. She's really just going into the window right now. And notice the height of her glove side. It's important that you're using both arms in a pitch. It's not just one. And her foot, her front foot, when it hits the floor, in this case, her arm is about at 1 o'clock. On the mound, she would be kind of open to first base at this point. And she's getting front foot resistance. This is what's important. She's dragging her rear foot. It never leaves the ground. You can see how her front foot is dug in, giving front foot resistance. As the ball comes down, her glove side comes down also. And that front foot resistance is making her arm work like a whip. It's snapping it through. It's helping to snap it through. Now you see she has thrown the ball. She's finishing. The things that you should note here that are important is, one, she is leaning back. She's not leaning forward. One of the mistakes that I see a lot of young pitchers, that especially the ones that have tried to teach themselves or had somebody try to teach them, like a parent that has never done it, they lean over the pitch and almost kind of try to bowl the ball. Notice her hips are in the open position when she throws the pitch, because she's throwing across her body, just like you do when you throw overhand. And she's leaning back, not bending over the pitch. Her rear leg and rear foot never go in front of her front foot. The other thing that's happening here is you notice her finish. Her upper arm is at a 90-degree angle. I mean, it's parallel to the floor. And her lower arm is bent. It's flexed through. It's snapped through. Her wrist should have a snap the same way, kind of. So I see a lot of pitchers, young pitchers especially, they will actually will stop their arm down here, or they'll stop it about here, and then some never been there. They want to reach and keep their arm straight, and you don't get any snap or whip on the pitch, and so you're limited on how hard you can throw. If you bend over the pitch, if you walk through, she steps across, you're eliminating the front foot resistance, which causes your arm to snap through. Imagine if you snap a towel. If you try to snap a towel, what makes it snap? What makes it snap is when you pull back with your hand. If you just throw the towel and don't pull your hand back, it doesn't do anything. That's kind of what happens when you try to throw with no front foot resistance. It's the front foot resistance is equivalent to pulling your hand back, making the towel snap, and that's what you're doing on a windmill pitch. You are trying to get additional speed by snapping the pitch off. So the things that make speed in a pitch, one is how fast you're moving your arm. Two is how much lunge forward are you getting, and three, how much resistance you're getting to help your arm snap through. And of course you've got to bend your arm in order to, you can't be stiff arm. The position that she has her arm in at the finish is typical of a fastball. There are pitches where you don't end that way. Could be a rollover drop, could be a changeup. So not every pitch would have to look like that. But as far as learning beginning pitching, that's the way it should look. So she's a pretty good example of the things you need to do when you are starting out, and that's why I like to use her as an example. Let's walk through that again. We're starting. So she's putting all the weight on her front foot. She is going to transfer that weight to the rear foot. She's rocking back, lifting her toe. In her case, she's bending down to try to get forward momentum. She's pushing hard with her rear foot. As the ball comes down for the first time around, her glove goes up. She turns and opens her hips. As she's coming down, both her glove and the ball are both coming down at the same time. She's planting her front foot to get the front foot resistance. She's snapping through and finishing high with her arm and keeping her weight back to try to maximize the snap by using the front foot resistance. And not stepping over, not bending over like bowling. And again, her hips are in the mostly open position. They don't need to close. So most of the pitchers don't. There's some that do. But I have a lot of videos of college pitchers, and there's some that break every rule and still throw 70 miles an hour. But they're usually pretty big gals. So this is what we're trying to do to maximize how fast an average sized young lady can throw. And this picture gives a lot of good examples.